everyone, my name's Kim and this is my channel Expedition Through Pages. Today I thought I would do a little bookshelf chat stroke book haul. So I've changed my shelves and I just really like them, so I thought that I would do a little video just kind of chatting a little bit about them. The ones in my living room I haven't done, that I've kind of shoved everything over there that I didn't want displayed on this one. So I'm not going to talk about that, but then also I'm not really going to go through every single book that I have. I'm just going to talk about the books that I have got recently that I put on this shelf. Because in the month of June it was my birthday and I very kindly received lots of money and book vouchers and stuff that I spent all on books, basically. No surprises there. But yeah, to talk about the top shelf, basically the top shelf is fiction books that I'm really excited to read. So when I'm doing my TBR game, if I can pick from that top shelf for fiction books, then that's the go-to shelf that I'm going to go to. In the living room, sorry, I'm talking about the living room books. I have put books that I'm less excited to read on that shelf, fiction-wise anyway. So I think I'm going to add some extra prompts to my TBR game. If you don't know what that is, I'll link it down below. But within that, when I pick out a prompt that says do a number generator, it's going to be either a good number generator or a slightly less good number generator, which will determine whether or not I pick from the shelf where I'm super excited to read or a shelf where I'm less excited to read. Because I do still want to read those books, so I need to make sure I do pick them up. And they don't just stay dusty on the old shelf forever. So on this shelf, the two books that I got for my birthday from my boyfriend are Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, and also The Last Children of Tokyo by Yoko Tawada. I can't remember what I put this on my TBR for, to be honest. I must have seen somebody talking about it that really liked it, but I'm going to be hopefully reading it this next week for Hannah from Hannah's blog. She's running a readathon that's called Summer Sprints Readathon, and so this is one of the books that I'm going to be reading for that, so I can talk about this very soon, hopefully. Good Omens, I actually don't know anything about this, but I really like Terry Pratchett's writing, although I've only read one book by Terry Pratchett, so that might be a massive statement to make when I've only read one book. But I read the first in the Discworld series and I really enjoyed his writing. Neil Gaiman, I've read a couple of his books. I've read, the one about starlight, star something, I'll put it up here. But I've read that, and I've also, I've forgotten everything that I've read by Neil Gaiman. Neverwhere. And I liked those books, but I didn't love them. There was something about those books that stopped me from absolutely loving them, and I'm not sure what that is. But I am really intrigued to pick this up because I'm interested to see how they write together. Then I recently went to Stratford-upon-Avon in the UK, and that's like where Shakespeare was born and lived, and yeah, and I was there and I was like, I can't not go into a bookshop and buy a book that's somehow related to Shakespeare. My boyfriend has like the whole Shakespeare works of all his plays, so I didn't want to buy a play because we already have them here. Not that I've read any of them. So instead, I ended up getting Hamlet by Maggie O'Farrell. I've heard really, really good things about this book, and the only thing I know about it is it's the fictional tale of Hamlet's? No. It's the fictional tale of Shakespeare's son, Hamlet. And apparently Shakespeare is never named in this book. They kind of like gone, well, he's gone off to London to do his plays, and we're concentrating on the family that he left behind. I think that's the idea of it, and that really, really intrigues me, so yeah, I'm excited to get to this one. Although this worries me. Moving, does that mean I'm going to cry? If it's a moving book, that does mean that, doesn't it? Then two books on the shelf that I picked up from my local bookshop. One is Never From Nowhere by Andrea Levy, and the other one is Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. This book I've wanted to read for ages. It's been like talked about for a very long time, and I think it talks about the Underground Railroad. For some reason I can't say that at all, but it kind of imagines it as if it was a real railroad. Why can't I say railroad? Very strange, doesn't fit with my accent. I know that this book is going to be really upsetting and sad, but I've wanted to read it for a long time, and I think the cover is stunning. I think whoever designed this book did a wonderful job. And Andrea Levy, I bought this because I read Small Island by Andrea Levy and loved that book so much. It was really good. I highly recommend that book. And I just want to read more of her writing, so I bought this one. And this book actually follows two sisters. So it says, Olive is 3 years older than her sister Vivian and a skin shade darker. Born to Jamaican parents and raised on a London council estate, Their early lives are spent in each other's pockets, but their teenage years see them drift apart. Vivian has only ever wanted to fit in, even when it comes at a price. Olive, meanwhile, has always been more impulsive and headstrong than her sister and finds herself facing a very different future. This book really kind of gives me the same kind of vibes as The Vanishing Half, which I also bought with my birthday money. I'll just get it. I don't know how similar the two are, but it kind of sounds similar in a way. But yeah, The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, another stunning book that I bought in the same place I got Hamnet. This says Stella and Desiree are identical twins growing up together in a small southern black community until at the age of 16 they run away. Years later, everything about their lives is different, their families, communities and racial identities. One sister lives with her black daughter in the same southern town she once tried to escape. The other sister secretly passes as white, and her husband knows nothing of her past. Still separated by many miles and just as many lies, the fates of the twins remain intertwined. What will happen in the next generation when their own daughters' storylines intersect? Yeah, it's about two sisters and two very different experiences, it sounds like. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to this one. I know a lot of people absolutely love this book. So yeah, I bought this too. Sorry, I just recorded another video before this, so I think my voice is going a little bit, but I'm going to power through. Okay, so the second shelf is kind of my most excited science fiction, fantasy shelf. So I haven't actually read anything on this shelf apart from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I read when I was a teenager. I've got so into fantasy since starting BookTube. I've just been introduced to so many like cool authors and cool books and everything like that now I just want to get my fill of all the fantasy. I'm so excited to read everything. So with my birthday money I did buy a few series. So I bought all 3 books of the Deverbad trilogy. The first one being The City of Brass, which has been blurred by Laini Taylor, saying dizzyingly magical and still utterly believable. And this is by S.A. Chakraborty. And yes, I'm so excited for these books. I think they're stunning as well. So I got The City of Brass. The second one is Kingdom of Copper. And the third one is a mammoth book and it's called The Empire of Gold. And yes, I am so excited to read these books. I've just heard really great things about them again. Then I picked up the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. This I've wanted to read for ages because again, loads of people absolutely love it. And I know that every book in this series, so all 3 books, won the Hugo Prize the year that they were published. So I think it was like in a row as well. But recently I have heard that people have read the 5th season and loved it and not loved the Obelisk Gate so much. So I'm a bit concerned about that. But I think they do still like it, but it's just not as good as the 5th season was. So yeah, I'm surprised at that because it won the prize every single year. I guess you would have very, very high expectations of all 3 books. That being said, I've heard such great things about them, so I'm really excited to start this world as well. And then finally, I bought actually this wasn't with birthday money, this was with my own money, but I bought the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. There is going to be a read-along with this series, which is run by Amy from A-Star Reads and Danielle from Bookcara. And the first book in the series we're going to be starting with is Cinder. And yeah, I'm really, really excited for that read-along to start in August. I'll link the announcement videos from those guys down below. And there's a Discord and everything, and it seems like quite a lot of people are in there. And I'm really, really excited to get started reading with everyone. These books seem to be retellings of fairy tales, which I absolutely love. I will say I do love Once Upon a Time, that Disney show, where it's like Disney princesses mixed with the real world. I absolutely love it. And this is fairy tale retellings, but mixed with science fiction. So they are robots, and I'm really intrigued by that premise. And so the first one is Cinder. The second one is Scarlet, which... what is Scarlet based on? Oh, it must be Red Riding Hood. The third one is Crest, and I guess that's Rapunzel, based on the picture at the front. And finally there is Winter, which I guess is Snow White retelling. And this is a mammoth book. So yeah, there are 2 other books in the series as well. I don't have those yet. They're like companion novels. I'm not sure why. I guess these must link, but maybe those don't. I actually have no idea why. But yeah, I still need to buy the other ones. So I'll put them here so you can see what they are. But yeah, so that's my second shelf that I'm very excited to get to. Then moving on to the third shelf. This is kind of like my oversized books that I'm excited to get to, and also my illustrated editions of the Farsi Trilogy, which by Robin Hobb, which I absolutely adore. So the only book on this shelf that I bought for my birthday was Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. And this book is absolutely gorgeous. I'll try and do some cutaways of it so you can see. But yes, I treated myself to the hardback because it's just absolutely gorgeous. Again, I don't know really much about this book except that it's always linked with The Starless Sea, and The Starless Sea was my favourite book of last year. So yeah, I'm hoping that I really like this one as well. And then finally, the fourth shelf is my non-fiction book shelf, and so it's actually double stacked because I have so many did I say science fiction? I mean non-fiction. So it's double stacked, and at the front are all the non-fiction that I'm really excited to read, and behind are the non-fiction books that I'm less excited to get to but still do want to read. And again, like the fiction books in my TBR game, when I get random number generator, it's either going to be random number generated for the books that I really want to read, or random number generated for the books that I'm less excited to read, just to kind of mix it up a bit. But yeah, so that is my bookshelf. The very, very bottom shelf is actually, I will tell you about it, it's messier. You can't see it on camera though, so it's fine. But it's my books, my textbooks that I used at university, and just some kind of other stuff that's thrown on the side. So yeah, it's not tidy at all. But that's where all the heavy textbooks go. And on the top, I've got some books that I want to send to the charity shop, and also the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin, and a box full of pens, because I have so many pens in my life that I got from my mum's house. So they've been collected over the years. So yeah, so that's kind of like a junk section as well, to be honest. Anyway, so that's my little video. I hope that was interesting. I don't know if it was, but I wanted to do a little book haul and show you that I tidied my bookshelf up, basically. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I bought recently and what you thought of them. I'd be really intrigued to know. But yeah, so that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will check in with you soon. Take care, guys. Bye.